Hi you guys, so I'm going to try and shoot this video one more time. I want to talk to you about the Eden the doll situation. So Eden is an influencer. She's a YouTuber. She's a transgender woman who's popping on Instagram and YouTube and all of that. So she and two of her friends, I think it was Jocelyn and Jaslyn, I may have their names wrong, they were attacked by a group of men. I'm sure you've all seen the videos that are circulating all over the internet. They were physically attacked. They had their phones stolen. One of the men tried to extort them and get money out of them for the phone that he had stolen. The other guy was trying to attack them, hitting them, and throwing all of these horrible, nasty slurs at Eden and her friends. These girls were left traumatized. These girls were left traumatized. Now, if you follow Eden on Instagram, you will know that she was on the phone with her attorney, and the DA has decided to drop the case because, according to him, there is not enough evidence. There's not enough evidence. People have collected the names of these guys. We know who they are. We know where they live. There are pictures of these men, like, everywhere. One of them was in police custody and he was released. So my question is, when are trans women ever going to get the justice that they truly deserve? When are we ever going to get the human dignity that we deserve? So many of us, myself included, I believed that if you were trans and you were clockable and people could see you, I felt that that meant that you were in danger, that you were more susceptible to being harmed, being attacked. So I and many of my other sisters, we've worked really, really hard to get on hormones, to have surgeries done so that we can reach the feminine threshold and pass in society, in the hopes that passing will save us, in the hopes that when you eventually pass, you're going to be able to walk down the street and no one is going to mess with you and people are going to finally respect you. I'm here to tell you today, it doesn't matter if you pass, if you're clockable. Passing doesn't mean these people are ever going to accept us. The minute they find out who you are, the minute they find out who you are, is when your life is in danger. And I hate to say it that way. I really, really hate to say it that way. But I have to, because I need to stress the point that you looking the way that you look isn't what upsets these people. It's you being who you are. It's you living in your truth. Once they know who you are, they take it upon themselves to hurt you. And we have to ask ourselves, like, at what point is any of this going to stop? At what point are people ever going to start respecting us and seeing us as human beings? At what point are we going to be able to take our power back? Because, like, I'm honestly done. I'm honestly done. Like, if you follow Eden, I know some people might see her as being problematic, but she is one of the sweetest YouTubers, one of the sweetest girls. She's opened her life on this platform for all of us to see. And she doesn't deserve this. No one deserves this. The Marlasia Bookers of the world never deserved this. That girl in Minneapolis who was attacked by, like, a gangload of black guys, she didn't deserve it. And yet, no one is being held accountable. No one is being held accountable for anything that's going on, and it's not okay. You know what I mean? I was attacked. I was cut up, stabbed up. They wanted to throw me in the car. And no one held those guys accountable. At what point are we going to stop this narrative of trans women being continually victimized and killed? It's just sad. It's just sad, and it's frustrating, and it's infuriating. My thing is, another thing that really upset me was, yes, this happened to Eden, and I'm glad that there was so much attention given to this. But how many girls have died unknown? How many of us have just fallen by the wayside and none of these men have been held accountable? It hurts me that so many of us have been killed with such brutality. And another thing that frustrates me is the majority of the men who are doing this, I think one of the guys was white or Hispanic, I'm not sure. But the majority of these guys who were doing this were black guys. These were black men who, in the same breath, want to talk about Black Lives Matter, George Floyd, this, that, and the other. How are you, as a marginalized person, how are you, as somebody whose freedom and safety has been taken away, how are you going to go and inflict the same type of abuse that your people face? How are you going to inflict that on somebody else? My issue with the whole Black Lives Matter movement, my issue with a lot of the people that were involved in that, is that it's almost as though they only want to see their pain. They only want to hear their stories. The minute you are LGBTQ+, suddenly your pain doesn't matter and your struggles aren't important. And I'm like, how do you expect me as a queer person to support a movement that is against, or to support the people in the movement that are fundamentally against my very existence? Because you know what? The minute girls like Eden, the minute girls like me get killed or something happens, everyone is quick to ask, well, what was she doing? Where was she at? What was she saying to the guys? Was she trying to trick? People try to find an excuse to justify this violence, whereas there's really no justification. There is really no justification. It's just that we live in this sick, fucked up, and twisted world that allows these things to happen, and no one is being held accountable. And I'm honestly done. I'm honestly beyond done at the mere fact, hey, gave me some popcorn, but I'm done. I'm done in the I didn't want to laugh. Look, one of my main tenets, or the one thing that I really believe in, is treat people the way you want to be treated. If you want compassion, you need to have compassion for other people. If you want compassion, you need to have compassion for other people. And a lot of these guys, my issue with them is they're out here wanting empathy, wanting the whole world to be at a standstill for their struggle. But the minute somebody else needs empathy, the minute somebody else needs compassion, voila, they're gone. They're the main perpetrators who want to kill and who want to hurt. How does that work? How does that work? So we as a community, we need to stop looking at people outside of our community to save us. It's going to be us. Our voices are going to save us. Us as trans women and as trans men, we need to stand up and take our power back. Our salvation does not rest in the police, because the police have done fuck all. They were driving past Eden when all of this was happening. It's not going to rest in the legal system, because the legal system has continually failed us. It's not going to be capitalism. Capitalism can't save us. Capitalism is the reason some of us are in the game. And it sure no, it's not going to be the Black Lives Matter movement, because the same people advocating for Black Lives Matter seem to forget about queer people within the Black community. I know that this video is all over the place, and I know a lot of us are hurting at this time, but just please take care of yourself. Please be safe. No one has your back the way that you have your back. Remember, I know that things are hard, and I know that there are fucked up people in this world, but just remember, you are loved and your life is important. And you need to fight for it with everything that you have. With everything that you have. Don't go down without a fight. Don't leave this world without your legacy. I mean, we die in the hands of these men. Sometimes we die in our own hands. But I just want you to know that you are loved. You are loved and you are important and your story matters. And one day is one day when all of this tomfoolery is going to end. But we are the ones who are going to save ourselves. It's not going to be anybody else. We're going to save ourselves. To all of the Edens in the world, to all of my trans sisters and brothers, I love you. Keep going on. Keep keeping on. Keep keeping on. You know, we are going to get through this. Please support Eden the doll. Send her some love. She started a GoFundMe, and if y'all can just check that out, we need to help our sisters. Thank you so much. Bye. See you next time, you guys.